Hi, my name is Sarah Zimmerman, and this is my persuasive presentation for oral communications. There's been a major push in recent years to improve the healthy lifestyles of Americans. Many of us find ourselves shopping in the produce section for more fruits and vegetables than ever before. And it may be a shock to some of you to learn that National Geographic reported that 90% of the commodity crops consumed in the U.S. are genetically modified organisms, or GMOs. Not exactly the all-natural diets that we thought we were getting. Now, we all have to eat. It's a fact that needs no references that 100% of human beings need to eat with some sort of regularity in order to survive. For this reason, advocating the labeling of GMO foods is crucial in our quest to not only eat healthy, but remain healthy. I've been following and reading research on GMOs and companies like Monsanto, and I like to be educated about what it is that's going on and what's going into my body. And with GMOs, there's been no real clear answer. The American Academy of Environmental Medicine states that many researchers are quick to say that GMOs have no harmful effects on the human body, but animal testing has indicated serious health risks that are associated with genetically modified food consumption. This includes infertility, accelerated aging, insulin regulation, and changes in our liver, kidney, and spleen. Today, we're going to discuss the problems with genetically modified organisms, the benefits that can come from labeling them, and how to push for that labeling. The lack of conclusive decision-making forces consumers to make their own choices about whether they'll consume GMOs. Labeling GMOs allows customers to put that decision into action using their own purchase power. And then, using that purchase power to tell producers of foods what the public wants and have the resources to make changes that we collectively want to see. Consumers need a manageable way to decide for themselves whether or not they'll consume genetically modified food. The scientific community is largely divided on the safety of GMOs to humans. While genetic modification has been present in foods for a couple decades now, there's very little known about the long-term effects. The World Health Organization states that GMOs are not likely to produce risk to human health. Many members of the scientific community agree with that, essentially taking no news as good news. Other researchers state that genetically modified substances have the ability to produce food allergies, have decreased nutritional value, have increased toxicity, and they increase our antibiotic resistance. This divide leaves the public uninformed about which resources and scientific evidence and which professional opinions to believe. We're left without a clear idea of whether these genetically modified foods have the ability to produce long-term health effects to us. For the most part, we're left to do our own research and decide what we think is healthy. This divide is one that's been studied by one researcher, Helga Torgersen, stating questions about the expertise and the performance of individual scientists and the competence of different scientific disciplines have frequently surfaced in the public debate about genetically modified organisms. So for consumers, after all the political and economic debate of the foods, the public is given no concrete scientific answer to the safety question. Now that I've given you an overview of some of the problems facing the use of GMOs, I'm going to tell you what a suitable solution would be. The best solution for the struggle in determining whether consumers feel safe with GMOs is to label the products. Oklahoma State University's Food Demand Survey in July of 2013 found that 54% of consumers believe that they have the right to know if foods are genetically modified, and they support the labeling of these products. The large red portion on the graph shows the people that would like labeling without thought of cost considerations. The smaller green portion, or 28%, are people that still want the labels as long as they don't interfere with the cost of products. So the large majority of people are calling for labeling in these products. Those consumers that feel that the foods are unsafe and would like to exclude them from their diets can do so with labeling. Mandatory labeling allows consumers to identify and steer clear of the food products that cause them problems. And for every consumer, the decision will simply become a choice between which products they want, rather than having to do additional research and learn which foods are actually genetically modified and how to read the labels. Those consumers that feel the foods are safe can continue to consume them. No forced removal of the product will occur without scientific evidence to support it, and consumers can continue to reap the benefits produced by GMOs, such as their high crop yields. Now that we have a solution, we can start to envision how the world will look to consumers with these changes. With the implementation of labeling, in the United States, consumers will be able to shop with ease and easily identify which products it is that they want to buy. Labeling will occur on products that contain over a certain predetermined threshold of genetic modification. Example, in the European Union, that threshold is 0.9% genetic modification. At that point, a label would go on the product. I might want to go on a quick shopping trip for a barbecue, and without having to figure out the different variations of organic and what they mean, I could immediately purchase corn and see it labeled as GMO or non-GMO. A lack of labeling will leave consumers confused and forces the purchase of certified organic foods and produce. Now that we can all see a world where labeling exists, we're going to discuss how it is we get there. Consumers in the United States need appropriate labeling in order to make the best food choices for themselves with GMOs. In order to make the best and most informed choices, labeling of GMO food should be introduced. Consumer purchases hold most of the market power. If you don't want GMO foods, be cautious to not purchase them and advocate for more labeling. You can influence these labeling requirements by writing to the Food and Drug Administration, writing to your local representatives, or you can go to labelgmos.org to get more information about how to be an activist for this cause. Even with our supermarkets full of labels of organic, gluten-free, grass-fed, and grain-fed, and maybe even hormone-free, I hope that you'll work with me to add another label, one that will help consumers make their own food choices while we're waiting for the scientific community to give us a conclusive choice. Thank you, and have a nice day.